walked in like it was nothing, just another meet and another floor. Your badge caught the light for half a second. I don't know why, I noticed more. We only traded how I use. Nothing crossed the line back then, but silence felt too loud between us, like something tried to happen. Coffee cups and late elevators, laughing just a little too long. I told myself it was harmless, just work days moving on. But every time our eyes met, something in me leaned too far. I didn't fall in love that moment, I just stopped being where I was. I didn't ask the questions I was scared to hear. I thought if I didn't name it, it couldn't disappear. It was the way you looked at me, like I wasn't just passing through, like you saw something I hadn't said, and somehow I believed it was true. I thought eye contact meant a promise, I thought staying close was enough. I didn't know how fast a moment could turn into love. That night blurred into a feeling, no labels, no clear lines. You said, are you okay with this? I said yes, I was lying, not to you but to myself, 'cause I wanted it to stay. I didn't think about tomorrow, I just needed you that day. I thought if I kept it quiet, it would last somehow. I didn't know beginnings like ours don't teach you how to slow down. It was the way you looked at me under yellow city lights, like I wasn't a mistake you regret. By the morning light, I gave you everything too early, before I knew the cost. I didn't know the first thing you lose is yourself when you rush. I hear your name in conversations I wasn't meant to hear. I watch you walk a different direction, like I was never here. If I had stopped you that first night, asked what you really meant, would it have ended sooner or hurt the same in the end? Oh, it was the way you looked at me, that's what I still remember. Not the goodbye, not the silence, just that fragile December. I won't say it was all a lie, that feels too easy to clean, but love shouldn't start with guessing what someone's eyes might mean. If I see you again someday, I won't look that long. I've learned how dangerous it is to feel chosen just by a look. I knew about her before I knew about you. I should have been my side. I know when something's right, doesn't stop you every time. You weren't what I imagined, I'd even close, but wanting to be chosen doesn't ask what you want most. I told myself I would stride her that I saw things clearly. I said, if he's with me now, that's all that really matters to me. I watched her disappear slowly, like she was fading out. And I told myself that winning was what this was about. I didn't steal you, you walked on your own, but I built my confidence on a throne that wasn't mine. Oh, I thought I won when you chose my name, when you held my hand like it meant I was safe. But I didn't feel better, I just felt afraid. 'Cause love that size of victory always finds a way to change. Every room felt different after bed, every laugh felt staged. I caught myself checking your eyes to see if they'd stayed. I hated that I needed proof that I was still the one. I didn't know how insecure being chosen could become. I told myself not to look back, but I knew where you were staring. You don't see someone that easily when something's still there. I thought I won, but I couldn't rest. I held your heart like it was something I could protect. The tighter I tried to keep it, the more I felt the cracks. You don't really take a person without something following back. Maybe it wasn't about you at all, maybe it was about her. Maybe I need to prove I could be chosen first. I don't know when it turned into fear or when else turned cold. I just know being a winner started feeling old. I thought I won, but I was wrong. 'Cause nothing stable starts with someone else's loss. If I could talk to who I was then, I'd tell her to run. But everything your hand did means you've won. I didn't lose you first, I lost myself, trying not to lose. I didn't lose you first. I saw you every morning after that, same floor, same air. I learned how to smile professionally, like I didn't care. I memorized neutral sentences, kept my voice even low. Silence felt like the safest place, I knew how to go. I didn't ask how you were doing, didn't ask if you were happy. I told myself I didn't need answers if I stayed detached. But every lunch break, every hallway, every almost conversation felt like I was holding my breath through an entire year of patience. I thought if I stayed quiet, I'd stay in control. I didn't know not speaking could take such a toll. I never said anything, that's how I survived. I watched everything happen from the side. second fight of being strong enough. I turned pain into routine and called that growing up. Some nights I rehearsed conversations I'd never let myself have, where I told you exactly how it felt and didn't take it back. But courage came too late, or maybe never did. I chose peace over honesty and paid for it. I never said anything and time kept moving on. You built a life in front of me like nothing had gone wrong. I never said anything, so I couldn't be blamed. But silence isn't innocence, it just hides the pain. If I had said your name out loud, if I had crossed that line, would I have lost my dignity or finally claimed mine? I don't know which choice was braver, speaking up or letting go. I just know the quiet followed me everywhere I go. I never said anything, and now it's too late. The truth feels heavier the longer you wait. I don't regret staying quiet, I regret what I did. Sometimes silence isn't strength, it's just fear wearing it. If I ever see you again, I'll explain. I've already said everything in my head 1,000 times, 1,000 times. I thought once it was over, it would leave my body too, like something you can erase if you try hard enough to. I went back to work on Monday, wore the same clothes, same face. No one asked the right questions, no one noticed the way. I told myself it was handled, that I did what made sense. I signed the forms, I stayed quiet, I practiced sounding convinced. But my hands still remembered what my mouth refused to say. There was something in me holding on, even after it went away. I lost it, but I didn't lose the feeling that something changed inside. There's still something left, I don't know how to name. It's not grief, it's not love, it's not guilt, it's not shame. I did what I had to do, I tell myself that's true, but there's still something left in me that didn't leave with you. You said it would be easier if we didn't talk about it, like silence could protect us from the damage we'd already done. I smiled like I agreed with you, like I was strong enough. different than being held. If I had been honest sooner, would it have changed the end, or would it have just hurt more to let someone in? I don't ask those questions out loud. They don't give relief. They just circle the truth I carry underneath. There's still something left. I carry it every day. Not a child, not a future, just a memory that stays. I'm not asking for forgiveness, I'm not asking for peace. I'm just learning how to live with what didn't leave. I stand in the mirror some nights and touch where it used to be. There's still something left. Now it's part of me. I saw you when the room got quiet, even though no one stopped talking. Time folded back on itself like it had been waiting. I told myself I was different now, that I learned how to let go. But my heart reacted faster than my mind could say no. We said we'd be careful this time, like careful was the cure. Like knowing how it ended once could somehow make us sure. You looked older, I looked stronger. We both pretended it meant something, but we were still standing on the same fault line. I wanted closure, you wanted comfort. We called it love again. We tried again, like it might erase the past, like loving you twice could make it last. I held on tighter, you pulled away slow. We tried again, but we already knew how this goes. You told me things you never had before, and I believed them meant to mattered. But honesty doesn't fix patterns, it just makes them clearer. I ignored every warning sign because hope sounded better than admitting I was walking into the same weather. I told myself this pain was earned, that made it easier to stay. We tried again, and for a while it almost felt like something new. But familiarity doesn't equal safety, it just feels familiar. And we tried again, and I stayed too long, because leaving felt like losing twice. I traveled, I drank, I distracted myself, but you stayed in my chest. I didn't miss who you were, then I missed who I was with you. Maybe love isn't enough when timing keeps breaking it. We tried again, and this time it hurt worse, 'cause I knew exactly how the ending would sound. I don't blame you, I don't blame me. Some loves don't fail, they just repeat. If I ever love you again, it won't be like that. Some things are once.
I learned your schedule without trying. When you stayed late, when you left early, I knew which days were harder just by the way you said hey. I never crossed the line on purpose. I liked knowing where I stood. Being close without asking for more felt safer than it should. You talked about him like a habit, not love, not anger, just fact. I listened like it didn't matter, like my heart wasn't reacting. I told myself I wasn't waiting, I was just being kind. But kindness can be a disguise for hoping over time. I didn't need you to choose me, I just needed you to stay. I was always there, but never chosen, always close, but never seen. I filled the space you needed filled while loving you quietly. I was always there when you needed someone strong. I wasn't who you wanted, just who you leaned on. The night you said you were done with him, I felt relief and shame, because part of me believed it meant my turn had come. But then you said his name again, nothing had changed at all. And I understood exactly how invisible I was. Being patient doesn't make you loved, it just makes you last longer. I was always there through every break and bend. I knew how your silence sounded before you said a word. I carried feelings I never showed so you could feel okay. When you went back to him, something in me cracked. Not because you hurt me, but because I finally saw the truth. I wasn't part of the story, I was just the pause. I was always there, and that was the problem. I made it too easy to never choose me, so I walked away quietly before I disappeared completely. I didn't lose you, I lost the version of myself that thought staying was enough. So I walked away quietly before I disappeared completely. I didn't lose you, I lost the version of myself that thought staying was enough. You never asked me to save you, I know that now. But back then I mistook silence for a call. You were breaking in slow motion, still showing up every day. I thought staying close meant help, and I thought that's what good men do anyway. I listened more than I spoke, I learned when not to push. I carried your weight quietly like it was something I could hold. I didn't fall in love all at once, it happened piece by piece. Every time you looked relieved that I didn't need anything, I told myself this was maturity, not fear in disguise. I thought it was my responsibility to stand where you were falling, to take the hit so you wouldn't circling. I stepped in front on purpose. If they needed someone to blame, I thought I could absorb it. You never asked me to do that, but I needed it to mean something. I needed my pain to have a reason beyond just watching you leave. You were choosing your own ending. I just didn't want to accept it. I thought it was my responsibility to be stronger than the truth, but you can't rescue someone who doesn't want to be pulled through. I stayed because leaving felt selfish. I left because staying was a lie. If you had chosen me, would it have fixed anything? Or would I just have learned later that love isn't something you can say? I thought it was my responsibility, but now I know it wasn't. You were never mine to protect, but to repair. Caring doesn't mean carrying someone else's end. Sometimes the bravest thing you do is stop pretending. I still hope you're okay. I just know now it couldn't be my job. I saw the cracks before I stepped inside. That's the part I don't deny. You weren't looking for a future, you were just trying to survive. I told myself I wasn't taking anything, that it was mutual escape. Two adults choosing distraction instead of dealing with the weight. I knew your story well enough to know when not to act. Silence made it easier to pretend this wouldn't last. I never promised you tomorrow, I never asked your name out loud. That was the agreement we both pretended we were proud of. I didn't save you, I didn't try. I just wanted to disappear too. I shouldn't have texted you when you were already breaking. I shouldn't have been the place you went, so we stopped feeding. We didn't fall in love, we just stopped being alone. But I walked away clean and you paid for it on you. When it started leaking into daylight, I chose the easiest door. No explanation, the smoke goodbyes, just absence, nothing more. I told myself it wasn't cruelty, just self-preservation. But there's no clean exit for someone else's devastation. I knew who would stay behind the moment I shouldn't have touched you, knowing I wouldn't stay. I took comfort where I found it, it disappeared the same way. I caught it all forgiveness. I don't deserve that relief. I just needed to admit I knew exactly what I was doing. I shouldn't have trusted you. That's the truth I carry now. Not because it changed me, but because I walked away somehow. Some mistakes don't follow you, they wait where you left them. When I hear your name, I don't defend myself anymore.
I knew which hand would save me. That's what makes this worse. I saw kindness standing right there, and I still chose the hurt. It wasn't confusion, it wasn't fate. It was knowing what was right and walking the other way. I told myself I was protecting him, that I was doing something kind, but I think I just didn't believe. Pain felt familiar, punishment felt fair. Love asked me to stay present, and I wasn't brave enough for that. I didn't want redemption, I wanted control. But it was fear dressed up as a voice. When everything finally collapsed, I stood in what I made. I didn't ask to be forgiven, I just wanted the noise to fade. I watched It just delays the cost. The fight taken the right way, but I recognize myself. Was I too deep in the story, where I punish instead of heal? I chose the wrong way on purpose, and I finally see the only person I was hurting was the one inside of me. I don't ask what if anymore. I ask why didn't I stop? I live with the answer, and that has to be enough. Oh. I arrived after the damage, after the names lost weight. All the stories were already told in half sentences and days. You look simpler than I expected, not innocent, not cruel, just someone standing in the quiet after everyone else moved. I knew what I was stepping into, no illusions left to break. I didn't need a clean beginning, just something I could take. I listened more than I asked, I calculated what to believe. I didn't fall into the fire, I stepped into the heat. I wasn't special, I was next after everyone left. You chose me not because I was different, just because I was here. I don't call it destiny, I don't call it love, I call it timing. There ain't other options, there ain't other options at all. Sometimes I catch myself wondering if this ends the same way, if one day I become a story someone else overhears. I don't pretend I saved you or that you saved me. We just stood in the silence and didn't leave immediately. I know how this sounds, I'm not afraid of it. After everyone left, I stayed, not to fix what was broken, just to exist beside it. I don't win, I don't lose, I just understand what this is. Every story needs an end, and this one just slows down. No crash, no closure, just lights going out. After everyone left, I'm still here, and that's not a promise, it's not even hope, it's just what remains when the drama fades and the room finally empties. I turn off the light and leave with you, or without you. Either way, the story is done.